Yang Berhormat Dr. Yusof Yacob, Minister of Education and Innovation of Sabah, Datuk, ladies and gentlemen. My pleasure to welcome here the Minister of Education and Innovation of Sabah, Yang Berhormat Dr. Yusof Yacob, to be with us here to deliver the closing keynote address at today's summit. Very often when we hold conferences on education, we have not taken into account the views, the aspirations, the vision of the people of Sabah and Sarawak. We think it is important, and for completeness of this forum, we listen to the wishes of the people of Sabah and Sarawak, particularly now when the government is talking so much about decentralization of power. So this closing keynote address from the Minister of Education of Sabah is to enable us to hear from him the wishes, the aspirations of the Sabahan people on education, the wishes of the people, the parents of Sabah for education. I think this will be a very useful, very timely address from the State Minister. So without any further ado, may I call upon the Honourable State Minister, Dr. Yusof Yacob, to deliver the closing keynote address today. Wendy, please.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, selamat tengah hari. Terima kasih Tan Sri Michael, Presiden Tingley Strategic Institute yang menjemput saya datang sebagai tetamu hari ini. To all the distinguished guests, professors, and all the stakeholders who are interested in education in Malaysia. Actually, it's a great privilege for me, quite rare from the other side of Malaysia, from Sabah, to come here to give a talk in a function like this. Actually, I'm not that foreigners to this place. I think our advisory council of education know me. She was in Sabah for many years, but I was started to be in Peninsula when I was Form 1, as early as 1969. That's 50 years ago I was here, and I had many places in Peninsula, and I had more friends from Peninsula rather than from Sabah myself. So I have my life is very flowery, and many things happen from one post to another, including a chairman for Bring Rakyat in Mara and many parts of corporate worlds. So today, actually, last speaker is not really good because everybody already full and tired. But we try to make as relevant as possible. We hope went that way. Actually, I just talk for, I'm not talking about Sabah, but overall Malaysia, to our understandings on this education. If you look back, actually, education plays key roles in realizing Malaysia's aspirations to be a developed nation. These are very important elements in our development. Malaysia's achievement in education enrollment is very, very significant. Although preschool education is not compulsory in Malaysia, but it was reported almost all, actually 91% of children at the age of 4 in 5 in the country were enrolled in some of the preschool education. This is reported in 2014. But for primary schools, for enrollment is not compulsory, also in the secondary schools. Primary school education enrollment in Malaysia almost 98%. This is quite good to the world standard, in fact. And secondary school was about 90%. This is more than 90%. This is above the world standard. In terms of post-secondary school education, in 2016, and we talk maybe borrowing a bit, 232 students were enrolled in public community colleges, 99,000 students in public polytechnics, 695,000 in private higher education institutions, including colleges, university colleges, and universities, and more than 500,000 across 20 public universities in Malaysia. It was reported by the Ministry of Education in the year of 2017. In addition, there were also 98,000 registered Malaysian students studying abroad at the post-secondary levels. At one time, it was reported about 150,000 Malaysian when the economy was good and exchange rate was good. But when the exchange rate was bad and economic, and mostly parents, equal father and mother scholarships, only about 10% by government. But now become less because of the exchange rate. When we send a student to UK for medicine, for example, we need to spend about 1.5 million for a student, whereas we can do the same course in Malaysia for at least 3 or 4 students. But that's why less students, and also the Malaysian government send less numbers to overseas unless you have twin programs in Malaysia. For example, a 4 years course, 3 years in Malaysia, maybe 1 year abroad. So it saves the cost. So in tertiary education, so each cohort is about 18 to 23 years old. It's achieved about 48% level, or exceeded the universal target by World Bank and UNESCO. Even in Sabah, our study, only about 45% enter tertiary education. There's quite a lot of room for improvements. This high enrollment in education has, to a large extent, has been adequately supported by existing education facilities. As for 2014, there were 5,900 preschool institutions across the country, of which 1,250 were located in urban areas and 4,500 in rural areas. 7,700 primary schools, where 27% of these schools were located in urban areas. In terms of secondary schools, there were 2,376 schools, with half of them in urban areas. These primary and secondary schools include the government and government-aided schools, precisely the national schools, national type school, there's a vernacular school, religious school, which is many in Sabah, we call it missionary schools, technical, vocational, special education, sports, and art schools. This is often reported in the Ministry of Education in year 2015. Today, there were 20 public universities, including 5 research universities, 4 comprehensive universities, and 11 focused universities in the field of technical education, management, and defense. 53 private universities with 7 branches, campuses for foreign universities, 26 private universities college, 30 public polytechnics, 80 public community colleges, and more than 350 private colleges. Although Malaysia's education enrollment figures are remarkable, but there is still vast room for improvement quantitatively. For example, in the case of students progressing through primary and secondary school, there is an absence of mechanisms such as examinations to assess and determine progression. It's a consequence. Students that have progressed to a certain level may not have achieved sufficient level of proficiency in schools. What is our position now? Our student achievement. In comparison to students in other countries, the average reading competencies and performance in science and mathematics of Malaysian students still lag behind. That means we are behind. Although we are number three of economics after Singapore and Brunei, but the performance are not even near to the developing countries such as Vietnam and Thailand. That means we are far behind. For instance, in the program for International Student Assessment, PISA 2012, the average performance of Malaysian students of 15 years old in reading was 398 points as compared to average 496 of OECD countries. That means we are a lot of far behind. In comparison, the average score in reading among Malaysian students was ranked 59th in the list of 65 participating countries. That means we are also behind. In addition, the average performance of 15 years old in Malaysia in science and mathematics was also below average. The average scores Malaysian students were 420 and 421 in science and mathematics respectively, as compared to the OECD average of 501 and 494. Likewise, the performance of Malaysian students of 15 years old in French and international mathematics and science studies was on the downward trend between 2003 and 2011. Although there was some improvement in 2015, the average scale of scores of Malaysian students in mathematics and science at 465 and 471 respectively was still below the global center point of 500. In terms of position, Malaysia was ranked 22nd and 24th for mathematics and science in the list of 39 participating countries. This is reported by Martin Hall in 2016. Thus, to address the performance of students, the Malaysian Education Blueprint in AD 2013 and 2025, between 2013 to 2025, has been focusing on developing high-order thinking skills or HOTS of students in primary and secondary school. Still, lots of things to be done, ladies and gentlemen. The evolution of Malaysia's education system since independence shows remarkable changes and rapid transformation is the nation's strove to achieve better educational standards and systems. The early system's purpose was to merely to help people cope with daily life. However, as time went on, people believed education would also lead to a better lifestyle. Post-independent education policies reflected contribution from the Barnes report, the Fenway reports, Education Ordinance, the Razak report in Education Acts of 1961 and 1996. In early 21st century, Malaysia introduced new national education policies for higher education with a higher education blueprint, the first of which was the National Higher Education Plan, NHEP, for 2007 and until 2010. Soon followed by a National Higher Education Strategy Plan in 2011 to 2014, and the Malaysia Higher Education Blueprint 2015 to 2025. Beginning in the year of 2004, we saw trends toward internationalizing Malaysia higher education system to meet demand made by a new era of globalization. This restructuring of education policies provided foreign stakeholders with opportunities to conduct twinning programs with local colleges and universities, and to open international branch campuses in Malaysia. These measures were in line with the government desire to an effort to establish Malaysia as a regional hub for higher education, and is the main choice of international students and intellectuals by 2020. The IGI Global homepage refers to an education hub is a designated region that aims to enhance our nation's competitiveness by providing higher quality education for both international and domestic students. Another item on the critical agenda projects 2007 till 2010, reconstruction of higher education focuses on the employability of Malaysian graduates. This important topic has been discussed among parliamentarians and the public from early days of its development. Employability concerns and industrial marketability of graduates is viable employees who can adapt, maintain, and fulfill job requirements. This concern remains a matter kept under keen observations. Keep under very keen observation, but from the public and also the interested parties. Although higher education keep globalization is reached, the percentage of Malaysia unemployed graduates also show a rising trend. This trend is recognized by latest Malaysia Higher Education Blueprint, where improving the quality of graduates is marked as one of 5 aspirations and predominantly considered due to an imbalanced production of graduates over the years. I think this morning, the afternoon, we talked about mismatching of the students and the industries. This also talked by many people outside there. For example, HR Human Resource Asia 2012 reported that 150,000 graduates from Malaysian universities. However, most failed to find employment. Although Malaysia had a very low unemployment rate, is about 3.3% of 434,000 over 13 million strong labor force in the country. As of December 2012, graduates' unemployment remained high. Hence, the government took precautions to solve this problem by implementing a graduate internship program and by enabling industry to take a lead in curriculum design and delivery via partnership to strengthen industrial training for students and enhance students' learning experiences. These efforts are intended to improve the overall quality of graduates in institutional system. Without a doubt, our education system has been given a makeover with the advancement of technology. The dilemma of how best to leverage technology to improve learning and produce a competent workforce is prevalent in institutions of higher learning to meet the national agenda. Higher education system worldwide are going through the same paradigm shift in view of the changing needs of students, expectations of society, and the ever-evolving technology. It has been predicted that most jobs today will be taken by digitalization and virtual mobility. Employers' expectations of employees have moved towards technology-savvy communication skills, which in turn demands higher learning institutions to provide such skills in graduates. One of the important principles of futuristic learning, including customized learnings for students, computer technology in student-centric classrooms, disruptive innovations to overcome learning roadblocks and competing in a global classroom. The new approach unheard in of traditional classroom. Thus, revamping our education system to achieve such a goal to learn, become global players, has become the federal government's priority. It's seen in the scope of in-depth in education blueprint for higher education 2015 to 2025 in relation to the fourth industrial revolution in education 4.0 framework. In a few years of its implementation, transformation has been taken shape, and students are becoming accustomed to learning through technology-based systems such as blended learning, Malaysian open online courses, and other online learning systems. Going digital and transforming education, however, does mean that current jobs may soon become irrelevant to pave the way for the new tech job. The Ministry of Education in 2015 to 2025 blueprint outlined 10 shifts that will enhance higher education excellence. The first design is to produce holistic, entrepreneurial, and balanced graduate who can better navigate and shape their futures independently. It is also hoped that it will decrease the number of unemployment graduates by training them to be job creators rather than job seekers. Nevertheless, the present higher education system is not the only cause of the unemployability problem. If the government has already taken many precautionary steps to the country. Malaysia higher education system is on the track to achieve desired goals, producing competitive graduates in the global marketplace. Nevertheless, Malaysia remains in need of students and graduates who acquire skills and independent thinking and problem solving to lead the nation toward achieving its Vision 2020. Higher education is crucial in production of citizens who are educable for life and responsible enough to contribute to social harmony and improving living standards. And we must also continue to emphasize ethics and higher individual standards, moral standards to soundly achieve our national aspirations. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Minister of Sabah who are looking after the education in Sabah. I don't know why my chief minister put me as Minister of Education. By right, I'm a medical doctor by profession, but he put me as a minister. But I didn't know before I become a minister. Actually, Sabah is, we face a lot of things in Sabah. It's compared to Peninsula, Malaysia. Peninsula is about 132,000 square kilometer. Sabah is 73,000. It's about 60% of Peninsula. Actually, about 60% of Peninsula is Sabah. Sabah is a huge country. Many people from Peninsula not really understand about Sabah. So I think the people who have been working in Sabah know better about Sabah. Actually, in Sabah we have 25 states now, 25 districts. Sorry, 25 because we are used to be called Future Malaysian Education region. So we have a state in the state. If we have 25 districts, some district is big is state of Pahang. You just imagine this is. So it is very crucial for Sabah and people from Peninsula to understand our Sabah problem. My ministry is looked into many previous government plans and found that they were not reviewed thoroughly, especially related to the distribution of students and infrastructures. For now, Sabah, we have 222 secondary schools. We have 1,074 primary schools. The total of schools in Sabah is 1,096 schools, excluding some of the state-owned schools. This is under the Ministry of Education. We have a lot of problems still. First is we have a problem with the infrastructures of our school in Sabah. We have schools that's very old now. Some are more than 50 years old. Some are more than 40 years old. Some are more than 30 years old. This school is categorized as a wooden school and ready to run down. This is very, very old schools and need to be replaced immediately. And we have uneven distributions of schools. We have also poor planning in terms of implementation of school. For example, out of 2,096 schools, at the moment today, we have, just to share with you, I want you to understand our situation. We have 587 schools who we call a sekolah daif, is ready to fall down, the school. Of this, last week I was asked JKR to brief me. 80 schools is declared to be unsafe for students. You just imagine if anything happened, these schools robo and some students died, we have to answer to the public. And last year, they have approved by the ministry, the government, to build 120. Actually, it was 707 before, but last year it was replaced 120 with a allocation of half billion ringgit. But the problem is the school built is not solving the problems. It was not properly planned. Some schools are built, what we ask, we didn't get. What is given is not required. For example, some of these schools, the IBS, in the island, I have visited with my officers, I have visited the school. One is island, I just named the school, Pulau Omadal, it's in Sampurna. Actually, it's only 12 students, 12 orang pelajar sahaja. And the present school is more than enough to accommodate the 12 students. Jadi sampai 12 students, 12 orang, satu kelas ada 2 orang. And yet, the government built another block of schools, a cost of 3 million, and don't know who want to stay there, who want to use the building. And yet, here are schools next door in the mainland, is a rundown. They are 1,200 students and not built. And in my area, I think my officer also visited the area, Long Pasir. I think everybody heard about Long Pasir. The school was old, and the government approved to build a 5.5 million schools, comprises of 2 blocks of schools and 1 hostel. The funny thing is, the schools of 2 blocks have 6 classrooms, but only classrooms. No teacher's room, no office for administration. I'm not correct the previous government punya kesalahan, but I want you to understand this. What is our problem? I need to have. And the hostel is built. The hostel in the world, there is no bathroom, is no toilet. You laugh. I can show you now. And when we visited, chief ministers also visited the area. We asked, and the state government had to immediately approve 300,000 to build an office and to build a toilet. Otherwise, it won't be to solve the problem. If I tell you half a day, it won't finish. It's a lot of problems still. So this is, and in Kota Kinabalu, the big school, there are schools of 2,400 students, and morning in the afternoon, 2 sessions. No more in Peninsula paper with 2 sessions. And we still have 21 schools in Sabah, sharing either primary school, sharing with the secondary school, or secondary school sharing with the primary schools. That means one building, 2 schools. So this is still happens in there. So this is because of poor planning. So we want to resolve this. The other problem is, as I mentioned just now, we have every year we have 50,000 students out taking SPM and STPM. Only 45% are enrolled to tertiary education. The rest are left behind in the village, and now we take action. So it was learned that these students are exploited to taken to work in Peninsula, and of course the ladies, the easiest solution is to get married, of course, dari kampung kawin. But this is a serious problems in Sabah, and we have a mismatch between we have graduates now or diploma holders who are not suited to the industries. So we had problem with employment rate among graduates is become political issues, and we need to solve this one. So solving this either by one is to retrain them, either to become either they graduate to retrain them, either become to change the direction, or to become entrepreneur or usahawan. Number 1. Number 2, we have to talk to we call the universities and colleges to every college in Sabah, I recall them to have an MOU with the industries. So not anymore to offer courses just for make profits by the IBDS, but they need to train the student to suit with the industries. This is the problem, and we had called, and the response is very good, and they are doing it now. And the other action we do is also we told parents, unlike before, you just choose which course you like your son or daughters to attend. But nowadays, no more. You must be very sensitive to the present industrial demand, present globalization demand, industrial revolution 4.0. So this means if you want to send your daughter or son to the colleges, you must check whether these courses or these professions need to be suited with the present requirements. And also, we used to talk to the students. You don't choose the courses that you like, or choose courses that are easy for you. It is nothing free. You have to struggle or hard to attend the courses that are required by the industry. So with this thing, we try. And we also from the state, we are holding scholarships from the state in Sabah Foundation in Sabah. We already told the students, we only sponsored the courses that are relevant to the industry. So no more happy giving anybody applying, giving scholarships. We must be very selective nowadays. So we have to, even to the best students, we all sponsors, we must we try to customize, meaning that talented to become what? Some become engineer, some become pilots, some become aviation or aeroplanes maintenance engineer, whatever. So this is the thing that we are doing now. So all these problems, what we do now is we keep talking to the federal government and my good friend Mazli Malik, Dr. Mazli Malik in the offices in the ministry to give more allocations to Sabah and more closely monitored. Otherwise, we are like behind. And of course, the other one, we need the autonomy. Autonomy means not that we're taking over all the education policies. We don't want to change. We follow the policies. But what we want is to prioritizations of Sabah requirements rather than top-down. They must be also listen to the states. That's why we have education ministry in Sabah. So my ministry and the state government, with the chief minister, in continued discussions with the federal government, even up to the Ministry of Education, Ministry of EPU, and even to the Prime Minister to try to solve this problem. And this education is a priority to the state. Federal government allocations last year, $500 million, actually to upgrade 120 schools. We still have this year only approved 10 million to replace 3 schools. We still have 584. $500 million is far from enough. Still need more. I want to replace, but my plan is to replace all the schools in 5 years. So this that's mean we need about, if we just average primary schools, 5 million per school, 500, we need about 3 billion ringgit to replace all these schools. And of course, some of the schools also have a problem. Some schools no titles. Some schools are built on the personal land. Some schools are built on the company land. Some schools are also built in the reserve land. So I don't know how this happened before, but it is happening. So we have one forward proactive. Next week, I have to call the ministry key issue to attend the meeting in Sabah. We call it task force committee to solve all this problem. To solve all the land without OC, the building without OC, building without title, school building built in the personal land, school building built in the company land, school building built in the forest reserve land. So this is happening. So together with our friend in Peninsula, I think you are welcome, especially interested stakeholders, to look into Sabah. We don't have enough fund. That's why now we are working together with NGOs, and also we need more CSR, like Tan Sri, and also all the generous donors, CSR people, big companies to come to Sabah and help us. Sabah is committed in focusing on the education sector and the main agenda towards producing more highly educated people as skilled. This is our new government vision, to have a knowledgeable Sabahan, skilled Sabahan, quality human capital in driving the state's development in the future. We already announced the states towards oil and gas downstream, palm oil downstream, timber downstream, tourism downstream, sea and marine products downstream to be in our main agenda. So full commitment and cooperation needed from educational institution and also interested party here, educators and parents to form mass movement to ensure empowerment and excellence of the state's education sector. This includes ensuring the education system and contents are well structured in meeting the employment market needs in tandem with current global and technological things. Do we have choice? We don't have choice. Education is a must. If we want to progress, we must focus on education. Developed countries like Singapore, Korea, and Scandinavian countries, while we are developed, I think everybody knows the answer is education. This means education is very important. Whatever people say, they said a very rich country, like timber rich or oil rich, if there is no education, they won't go nowhere. So education still. So what is our choice? Thank you so much, your support, and that's the end of my speech.